The legendary blue whale, the largest animal to have ever existed on planet Earth, beating even the dinosaurs, is just as interesting as it is big. These gentle yet frighteningly large creatures inhabit the ocean waves and have been there for the last 1.5 million years, according to carbon dating data obtained from a fossil. Just how big are blue whales, and how did they go from being practically in every corner of the ocean to the top of the endangered list in just a few centuries? Let's find out. First of all, let's take a look at how big whales are. After all, just how big is the biggest animal that ever lived? Well, for starters, blue whales can grow up to 30 feet tall and over 200 tons. That's almost as long as 3 school buses and as heavy as 20 fully filled buses. How does the largest land mammal, the elephant, compare? Well, the king of the land giants is only about 13 feet tall and weighs a mere 4 tons, a staggering 20 times smaller stature than its ocean counterpart. That's not all. When you're as big as a whale, your organs get drastically bigger too. Blue whales have hearts as big as an automobile, and if you wanted to, you could even live inside one. Sure, you'd probably drown in this majestic creature's blood, but for a few minutes you'd be living every heart surgeon's dream. A step towards the outside of the whale takes us to its tongue, which weighs over 4 tons and stretches over 18 feet in length. Yes, just their tongue is big enough to rival an elephant. Apart from the tongue and the heart, another organ of the whale that's worth a mention is its male reproductive organ. Male blue whales have by far the largest male reproductive organ in the animal kingdom, boasting an impressive and record-breaking length of 3 meters or 9.8 feet long and a width of 12 inches or 30 centimeters. No other animal comes even close to this record, as most of them are smaller than just the male reproductive organ itself. Fun fact, relative to size, barnacles have the largest male reproductive organ in the animal kingdom, with genitalia almost 8 times the size of its body. Enough about size though, let's take a look at how these giants communicate with each other. Whales aren't just the largest in the animal kingdom. Turns out they're one of the loudest too. The average blue whale can and regularly does produce sounds of over 200 decibels. That's louder than a jet engine. Whales produce loud noises and communicate with other whales, as these sounds can travel over 10,000 miles away at an impressive speed of almost 1 mile per second. Some scientists have also theorized that whales most likely use their low-frequency sounds as a form of sonar in the darkness of the ocean floor. Interestingly, whales produce different sounds depending on the part of the world they are from. Sri Lankan whales, for example, produce a 3-phase sound, whereas Eastern North Pacific population produces a 4-phase sound. Scientists have also noticed that whales have been lowering the frequency of their sounds in recent years. A study presented at the Biennial Conference on the Biology of Marine Mammals found that the vocalization of blue whales in the Eastern North Pacific decreased in tonal frequency by 31% from the early 1960s to the early 21st century. A subspecies of blue whales called pygmy whales have been presenting with continuously decreasing tonal frequencies too. Pygmy whales have shown their tonal frequency lowering by a few tenths of a hertz every year starting in 2002. Scientists aren't 100% sure why this is happening, but they think it's likely that as whale populations are increasing, male whales have had to lower frequencies so they look more like promising mates. Apparently, humans aren't the only ones that are attracted to deeper voices. Being the largest animal to have ever lived, whales need a nearly inexhaustible source of energy, and nature has given it to them in the form of krill. Krills are tiny shrimp-like crustaceans that live in the ocean and come to the surface in specific seasons. Whales need to eat about 4 tons of krill a day and have evolved a form of hunting called lunge feeding. Lunge feeding is when whales lunge at giant groups of krill and try to get as many of them in their mouth as possible. Once the krill are inside, whales push down the water, which moves out through baleen plates with pressure from the throat pouch and tongue. Baleen plates are fibrous plates on the underside of the mouth. Once all the water is out, all that's left is for whales to swallow the remaining krill. Whales have an incredibly high need for energy thanks to their large size, and an average whale must consume around 1,500 kilograms of krill every day to survive. How do whales find that much krill? Well, as it turns out, whales are much better at sharing than we are. Different whale species avoid competing for food and prefer looking for different feeding spaces and times, as well as different prey species. If different species of prey aren't available, whales try to differentiate with the size of the krill they feed on. As for young calves that can't hunt for krill themselves, they rely on their mom to provide them with milk. Young whale calves need about 100 to 150 gallons of milk a day to survive, and gain about 200 pounds of weight every day for the first year of their life. Impressive, right? If you've never seen a blue whale, don't be surprised. They aren't found in most backyards. Unless your backyard is the coast of California, that is. There are only about 25,000 blue whales left in the ocean, and unlike dolphins and most other marine mammals, blue whales don't usually travel in large groups. Every now and then, we do find 2 to 4 blue whales traveling together, but for the most part, these majestic creatures like to travel alone. Their solitary lifestyle is also why blue whales need sounds that travel so far. Blue whales only meet up when they need to breed, and that happens once a year near the warmer waters of the equator. Once pregnant, the females move back to the poles and wait. After a gestation period of around 1 year, the calves are born, and the females return to the equator for the process to start all over again. Blue whales come out of the womb already holding the title of largest animal at 3 tons and 25 feet. There was a time when blue whales were abundant. Now their population has gone down to just 10,000 to 25,000 individuals left. Almost 200 years ago, the number of blue whales in the ocean was more than 10 times of what it is right now, and while other marine animals have thrived, blue whales' numbers have only dwindled. This is mostly because of extreme hunting in the 19th century. If you've read Moby Dick, you probably have an idea of just how cool whale hunting was back in the day. Whales were prized for the blubber, and hunting nearly took them to the brink of extinction. According to the World Wildlife Fund from 1904 to 1967, more than 350,000 blue whales were killed in the southern hemisphere as a result of human hunting. In recent years, however, there has been a complete ban on blue whale hunting by the International Whaling Commission. The efforts have helped the number of whales to grow, but increasing climate change and noise pollution aren't helping. Noise pollution is the major killer here, as whales can't breed if they can't communicate with each other, and as a result, aren't really reproducing. Blue whales also have shorter lifespans compared to some other species. While the bowhead whale can live up to 200 years, blue whales only have around an 80-year lifespan. One thing that blue whales have got going for themselves is they have no natural predators. Orcas are the only ones that have been seen hunting whales, and even they haven't been that successful, with only a few attacks in recorded history. And only about 10% of them resulting in a whale dying. Their massive tails deter most orcas, and other predators don't even try to get close. Are blue whales going to survive, or are we going to see a future without these gentle giants? Let us know down in the comments. Alright folks, that was all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, tell us in the section below. We will be back soon with another video. Until then, check out the other content on our channel.